Good evening everyone and welcome along to some TGP2 action once again. We've arrived at rounds number 13 and 14 of this fantastic season. It is Hungary and China, but that's where we head first. China for the Chinese Grand Prix, round 13 of the championship, on the outskirts of Shanghai for what will be another cracking race. I'm Ginger Andy, once again joining me in the commentary box. Again, we've got the fine tones of Dan the Man, the Scouse, joining me once again. How are you doing, Dan?
Good evening, Andy. I'm in a good mood. I'll be in an even better mood if Villarreal win tonight, but that's for a different time. Here with this, we're here to see this championship battle continue between Magic Poop Cannon and Chris Johnson. And Chris Johnson managed to extend his lead last week, didn't he, by 13 points overall with the two races. So Magic Poop Cannon has to somehow find a way back tonight.
Yeah, he sure does. Chris Johnson making up for what was a horror week prior to that, and with Magic Poop Cannon really cutting that gap down. But you know, we spoke, Dan, didn't we, at length about how he had to stop the rot. He did stop the rot, and he pushed on and built that gap back up again to a reasonably healthy margin. So yeah, he'll be happy, but he'll want to try and keep that momentum going now, and all the pressure is on Magic Poop Cannon to try and reduce the deficit. He is on an outlap at the minute as Magic Poop Cannon. He's quickest in the timings by some distance, 7/10 of a second over Baza. A 130.3 plays a 131.0, and then another 8/10 back to the man in third. So hopefully over the course of this qualifying session the field can close up, Dan, because if it's looking like that at the front, it won't be much of a session. But as I say, that Cena pops into third place, 3/10 off the back of Baza, as we can now watch Magic Poop Cannon start this flying lap. We'll jump on board, Dan, and what do you make of this circuit then? Let's jump straight into it then. Turns 1, 2 and 3, quite a unique part of the Formula 1 calendar, not something you see very often, is it?
No, it's a bit like how Malaysia, the old Malaysia, turn 1, turn 2, isn't it? It's very similar, but I'm not a big fan of this track, I have to say. I don't know, maybe it's a bit too technical for me. Never enjoyed it, never got on with this place as it reaches the turn 6 through here. And then I do like these two corners, especially in these cars where you can pretty much go flat out. I'm sure I'll be able to do that next year, but around I think it's turn 7, turn 8, isn't it? And goes through here into this quick sort of double apex, turn 9, turn 10, and then we'll see what it's like to the second sector point. Is he up on his time? No, he's not. He's down by a tenth as he approaches this never-ending turn 13. A horrible corner, the worst corners on the entire calendar for me. Yeah,
I've got to say, Dan, I actually really like the racetrack. I've gone really well here. I've actually won a TGP race here before, believe it or not, the commentator. And I'm a big fan of it. I mean, it is quite frustrating at times and quite technical. I agree that, you know, that corner just before the end of that, but the second sector is awful. You wear an age to pick the throttle up, and you're just waiting and understeering and sliding wider and wider. It's just not an enjoyable corner at all, as we watch Magic Poop Cannon cross the line, and he goes marginally quicker.
He invalidated, I think.
He invalidated, did he? Sorry, missed that. He went marginally quicker, but of course the invalidation meant that he does not improve in his time. Yeah, another area of the track, you spoke about it briefly, I think it's turns 9 and 10, the double apex, the two left-handers, another really tricky area of the racetrack to get right. You know, you go through those S's and then you quickly need to scamper over to the right-hand side of the track to open that double apex up. Really tricky corner, Dan. Is that an area you find quite tough for the drivers?
Yeah, well, it's certainly an area that I find tough. I find pretty much this entire track tough, but it's one of those tracks really where people will put a quick lap in and I'll be like, I really don't know how you'll manage to go that quick around this circuit. But I'll tell you what, I think Parson might be able to join that club at the top of the sheet at the minute. He just set a good second sector, coming down the back straight. He doesn't have his teammate to give him his toe though.
Yep, you know, these two, they love to give each other a toe, don't they? There will be no such things tonight. Remember recently Parsa winning in Mexico, his first ever TGP2 victory. Really pleased for him, getting the monkey off his back as he comes round the final corner and heads for the line. Where's he going to go? 1 minute 31.377, and he goes 6th quickest. But in amongst all this, where we've been talking about the racetrack, Jacko has gone up to 2nd place, and that's quite impressive, isn't it?
It has, yeah, great. Really, that would be a great quality for Jacko. I think it would be the best result of the season so far. I think qualifying, if he was to manage that. Where is Jacko in the championship? He's in 11th, so not doing too bad, but there is quite a battle going on for those sort of lower positions. around Jacko's place, and then who else? We've got Sayer Sports, Mr. John, as well as teammates, all sorts of fighting it out down there. Alex Afro is in 4th place now, and actually Alex Afro is beginning to catch up to Bazza, who at one stage was a championship contender, but he's really dropped back now.
Yep, he really has dropped back as we watch Bazza now, about to start a flying lap. Across the start-finish line he goes, around the Shanghai International Circuit, swooping in to that long first corner. Of course, praying the car sticks, and of course it does stick. It's a Mercedes he's driving, and of course these 2021 cars, 2020 cars, they stick like glue. Round Bazza goes, exiting that turn 3. You have to try and get onto the throttle as quick as you can. Turn 4, not really a corner, and slamming onto the brakes into this right-hander. I'm a fan of this corner, Dan. Opportunities for dive bombs, for overtakes, and I just really enjoy it. I've always felt confident through there. Now these sweeping left and right-handers really does separate the men from the boys. You've really got to attack it, and you've got to be comfortable with the rear end, and Bazza sure is looking comfortable at the minute. Then through that double apex left-hander we spoke about, it's so important to get on the throttle early, get the right line through there. You don't want to be hanging out around on the AstroTurf on the exit. That will leave you struggling for lap time, but he's a little bit down, a 10.5 Baz at the minute, as he now finds out just how difficult that corner is, Dan. So easy. You want to pick up the throttle so early. If you do, it just spits you out, and it compromises you even more lap time. So Bazza on the ragged edge, trying to get in the throttle as quickly as he can, and finding himself running a bit wide at times, Dan.
Oh, he's catching up to this Red Bull. Hopefully this Red Bull won't distract him too much at Cena, but he reached the end of the straight beforehand. Hopefully Cena will get out the way now, or just drive straight into the pit lane, and might even be able to pick up bit of a mini tow heading into the final corner, and in fact he's totally abandoned the lap and he's coming back into the picture. 3 minutes to go. Yep,
so an abandonment of the lap there from Bazza, still in 3rd place, although 7/10 from the pole position at the minute, as Blair Grills then is coming towards the end of his latest flying lap. Currently 9th quickest, 1:31.8. He's coming straight into the pits though and abandons that one.
I just have to very quickly go and answer my door. I'll be back in a moment.
Oh, cat on the roof for Dan the man. There is a cat on his roof, it would appear. So who else we got out there on a lap then? We've got Mr. John, we've got Cena as well. I think Cena's the furthest round, so let's pick him up then. Oh, 3/10 up through the first sector on his previous best then. So Cena, the man on the move as things stand here in TGP2. Currently 5th quickest, 1 second from the pole position time, but I tell you what, with a first sector like that, there's every opportunity he could be threatening towards the front here. He's now 7/10 up. Goodness me, purple through the 2nd sector for Cena, and this is looking like a really good lap that's going to put him in amongst the front runners. It's certainly going to put him in the front row. Will it be enough to displace Magic Poopcan as we look from the rear wing of that Red Bull? Lovely camera shot that. You can see the inner workings on the suspension there. Rear wing open as he slams on the brakes, one of the heaviest braking zones on the calendar after that 1 kilometre straight, one of the longest straights on the calendar, as Cena now makes his way up to the final corner, the 90-degree left. Here he comes towards the line. This has got to be threatening pole position. Cena for the line. It's a 1:30.4. He's half a tenth or so away from Magic Poop Cannon, and now we've got someone joining Magic Poop Cannon at the front, and not only that, we've got Dan rejoining us in the commentary box.
Have indeed, yes, and I can confirm it was not a cat. It was not a cat. But Magic Poop Cannon has just gone purple in the 2nd sector as well, so he might be able to improve his lap time slightly here.
Well, let's pick up on him then.
Dom also quick sector 1 as well.
Oh, we'll go to him in a moment then, but Magic Poop Cannon at the minute setting the timing screens alight, a 10th and a bit up on his previous best. Is he going to be able to do enough towards the end of the lap to maybe even threaten the 1:29? It would need to be a mighty final sector. Here he comes round the final corner, heading for the line. Magic Poop Cannon, what can he do? It's a 1:30.1, and he extends his margin that little bit further. Now up to 3/10 of a second, Dan.
Well, Chris Johnson's got to get a lap in, hasn't he? Look, he's down in 8th, he's on his out lap, and it's going to have to be a good one. I mean, what's the gap? It's what, he's 1.6 seconds, is it, behind first place at the moment? So he's going to have one hell of a final lap. Got a lot of time to hopefully find at the end of the lap. Let's see what... Oh, Dom's invalidated his lap as he approaches the back straight. So not good for Dom. I'm not sure if he'll be able to go again. Maybe he's got the fuel for it, I'm not sure.
24 seconds to go in the session. It's all beginning to get a bit interesting. Parser finding time. He's gone a 10th up in his previous best. He'll need to go some way quicker than that though if he wants to get up towards the front this weekend, and maybe it would be enough to get him up to 5th position. He's going to get a nice little toe here from Cena. Here we go, the toe is coming,
there we
as
go.
always. Week in, week out, doesn't matter if it's Monaco or Monza, these two love a toe. And there's another one from Cena as Parsa slams on the brakes in. Let's see how much time that has found him as he makes his way through the hairpin and up towards that 90-degree left-hander, which will then see him racing towards the checkered flag. It's his final lap. He's a little bit wide. That'll lose him time. Parsa to the line. 1:30.8. He goes third quickest. Cena's bailed out. Poop Cannon, is he going again? He is. I don't know how quickly he's going though. Who else we got out there? Zafro and Penguin have both seen the flag. They're 10th and 11th. Not the most spectacular session for them. Chris Johnson currently 8th quickest. What's he doing, Dan?
First sector he was only up a little bit. Second sector, well, just 10th and a half. So this is nowhere near the pace needed to reach first position, you have to say, isn't it? I'm not sure if he'll even get into, a top 5 at this rate.
Chris Johnson flailing here in qualifying in Shanghai. And it's an opportunity potentially presenting itself for Magic Poop Cannon to cut the gap down, because at the minute, Chris Johnson is not delivering a lap time that could move him to the front row of the grid, or even the second row of the grid at this rate. Let's see what he can do through the final part of the lap. It might not even be enough for the third row. Chris Johnson really struggling, the championship leader no less, round the final corner. What's it going to be for the championship leader? He's 8th quickest.
Oh.
He stays 8th. What a horror show that is. Who was that moving up?
Baza? It was Baza jumping to 3rd, yeah.
Goodness me, a disaster for one Mercedes, an improvement from the other. But the big shock here, undoubtedly, Chris Johnson down in 8th, pole position for his main rival in the championship, Magic Poop Cannon, Dan.
Well, it's a 23-point gap for Magic Poop Cannon. Has a great chance now to reduce that by quite a margin. What a lap by Magic Poop Cannon, and it's the gap, really, especially from Magic Poop Cannon to his main championship rival, Chris Johnson, which is incredible field spread throughout the grid.
Yep, it sure is, and an astonishing field spread. I think probably the biggest we've seen all season. And Dan, that might kind of be explained by what you were talking about earlier, that how technical the circuit can be and how much of a challenge it is. Some drivers hooking it up, others maybe not. But there is your final results from qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. It's Magic Poop Cannon that starts this race from pole. It is Cena that joins him on that front row in second. Baza starts from third with Parsa in fourth. Good qualifying for Red Bull. Jacko fifth. It's Dom Smith sixth and Blown Wheelnut in seventh. Disaster for the championship leader. Chris Johnson is only 8th. What can he do from there? Blair Girls is 9th. Zafro 10th. Outside the top 10, it's Penguin, Shep, Sayre Sports, Indecisive, Mr. John, Breezer, Red Bull Kim, and Stereogram completes the grid for the race. Now, Dan, we saw the weather forecast before we got out of bed this morning. We looked out the window for the race, and what did we see? A drop of rain.
We did indeed, yeah. We've seen quite a bit of rain, and apparently, though, it is going to get dry as the race goes on. But looking at how heavy that weather is, you do wonder if we will see dry tyres make an appearance at all, although that's what we said about qualifying in Canada, and we know what happened there, so who knows, maybe Red Bull Kim will pit with 2 laps to go and win the race. Well, we'll find out, but this is going to shake up the race.
Well, I didn't tell the viewers, and I didn't tell yourself, Dan. I did have to send a video to Red Bull Kim of me eating my socks. So, you know, the socks were eaten as promised. Didn't expect that to dry out at all, but it sure did. We'll have to wait and see what the weather brings then for the Chinese Grand Prix, round number 13 of the championship, and it's well set up in the championship battle here. Chris Johnson, who has the lead of the standings by a good 20 odd points, down in 8th position here. His lead could get wiped out, a bit like Lewis Hamilton's did if Magic Poop Cannon wins today. Here come the lights, they are out, and we are racing it. They're moving away slowly, and I think they're all on wet tyres as well. It looks like Poop Cannon will lead into turn 1, Cena second, and Baza in third as we look through the mist to see the cars. But it is Magic Poop Cannon holding the lead. Look at Cena diving down the inside, and he's going to squeeze through. Good move there from Cena, brave as you like against one of the championship contenders, and he squeezes through as they tippy-toe their way so slowly through turns 1, 2 and 3. But that's a great move from Cena. Can it be a second win for one of the Red Bull drivers this season?
It's not worked out too well for Magic Pipcan, is it? He's second. Chris Johnson's managed to go up to 5th already. He's going to have going Jacko away for 4th place around the outside. No, he's not. There's been a bit of contact towards the back. And look at Stereogram. Stereogram's gone from the back to 9th. He's made up 9 positions. What a start.
Make that 10 almost as he battles away with Dom Smith further down the order. Let's go down there and have a look. Look at this, side by side. Stereogram has gained another 10 places from the back of the grid for Stereogram. That is an incredible start. That's right up there with what we've seen from Sam Hickman in Hungary last year, isn't it?
It is indeed. It's phenomenal stuff. Let's see if he can hold on to it. It'd be fantastic if he can. I think some drivers have got damage towards the back as they make their way through turn 11 and 12. Seeing it goes a bit deep. Magic Pipcan's going to be watching, and this is going to be a difficult corner to try and get through in the wet conditions. When are you going to pick the throttle back up? When are you going to feel confident enough to go again? And Chris Johnson has got past Jacko for 4th place as well.
Yeah, in the background there of the shot, you can see that Chris Johnson has gone ahead of the Pink Panther and is through. As you can barely see the cars as they make their way down that straight towards the braking zone. It's Cena in the lead, Pipcan getting closer. Not quite close enough as we go on board. You can barely see a thing as the rain light flickers in the car in front of Cena as Magic Pipcan is desperate to get that lead back that he had off the start of the grid. No way through at the minute. At the end of lap 1, as we get onto lap 2, Cena still leads then from that great move into turn 1. Pipcan in second as they come across the lane again. Cena not wanting to give any slipstream at all to Magic Pipcan down that straight, but there's no way through at the minute for the Estonian man. Magic Pipcan from Tallinn, Estonia, lives in New York City, a well-travelled man, and he's on the attack of Cena and trying to please the native Estonian supporters as he slithers his way out of turn 1 and 2 and 3. And it's so difficult to get the throttle down, Dan. Just explain to the viewers how much harder it is in the wet conditions.
Oh, it's impossible. It's Chris Johnson going for Bazza.
Oh, on his teammate, and he's going to squeeze his way through. Toto will look away now as Bazza fights back, and he's straight back through underneath Chris Johnson, not taking the Bottas roll at all. And he drops Chris Johnson back down into 4th just when it looked like he was about to go through. So great battle between the two Mercedes teammates. Bazza standing firm, standing strong. There is no number 2 down there.
No way, and Chris Johnson's still right on the back for me, and we've kind of got close to Cena that time around as well, but he's pulled away again a bit, and I just wonder if Chris Johnson will be eyeing up a move on Bazza down this main straight, but considering Chris Johnson started 8th and Pipcan was on pole, he's really managed to close it down, hasn't he, in just the first 2 laps of this race. But I tell you what, Magic Pipcan's had a good exit from that corner, and Chris Johnson and Baz is probably about even. Might see an overtake here, or will we all hold the position?
Going to be difficult, I think, for Pipcan to get through there. He's moving out of the slipstream, having a little look, trying to second guess Cena, no way through. Chris Johnson stays in 4th at the minute. Baz a little bit deep on turn in there, but he's okay, he'll make it through the corner. But Magic Pipcan really is now starting to climb all over the back of Cena, who's looking a bit like the cork in the champagne bottle here. He's beginning to hold them right up, and Magic Pipcan is breezing past Cena down the straight before they even get to turn 1. New fastest lap in the process, and Magic Pipcan regains the lead that he lost in turn 1 on the very first lap, Dan.
Crucial stuff for Magic Pipcan then to retake the lead of the race, and Chris Johnson still can't get past Bazza. Meanwhile, Dom and Stereogram are still battling. Stereogram's doing a terrific race, still battling for 8th place, as Dom, though, it looks like he's going to get him on the inside now, although Stereogram might then come back into the next corner and retakes 8th position.
This is magnificent from Stereogram. Where has this been all season? This is an excellent performance. 10 places gained from the start, and he just will not give in to Dom Smith. Early contender for driver of the day already. What a race he's having, and I spoke too soon. He's gone a little bit deep. Keep it on the road, man. Keep it on the road, and he does. And just about clings on to 8th place, Dan.
And Parser had a massive spin coming down the straight, a bit like Sutil's crash here in 2009, very similar, although it was the other way, and he just managed to avoid any other car. If he did make contact with the car, there would have been a big accident when he's dropped right towards the back now, Parser, so we're not going well for Parser in this race after a strong qualifying. Meanwhile, Cena is still keeping Magic Pipcan honest, and Chris Johnson is still right on the back of Bazza.
Yeah, he is. He's taking a little bit of a wider line through the corner, Chris, but he tries to switch back to that drier line. The back end steps on him. Whoa, we've got a moment here for Cena. He's way off the track. And both Red Bulls showing signs of having absolutely no wings whatsoever this afternoon on lap 3 out of 14. They've hit self-destruct. Christian Horner and Adrian Newey look absolutely disgusted on the pit wall as Parsa spins, and now Cena slides off the track, trying his best Lorraine Carthagena impression, but he just about holds it together.
Yeah, he's done well to at least stay in fourth, hasn't he, after that, because that was a big moment for Cena, and Jacko will have thought he could have snatched fourth position away there, but he could not manage to do so. As Stereogram, meanwhile, has dropped to 10th, so he's lost a couple of positions on that lap, as it looks very close, in fact, between Dom and Shepard, and Stereogram, in fact, and Mr. John.
Yeah, very, very, very close. Shep, I've got to say, sorry, Stereogram, he's been doing a good job of holding them all up, but he's now beginning to be swallowed up by the pack, isn't he? It's been a fantastic effort so far, but Dom Smith and M-Shep have got through, and I've got to say, M-Shep, he's really picked up his game, hasn't he, in recent weeks, Dan? Nowhere all season, but now right in the midfield, isn't he?
Yeah, he had that great race in Canada, didn't he? And then today we've seen him having a great race here in the rain. He does have a penalty. They're only driving the field at the moment to have a penalty. Magic Poop Cannon is starting to pull away. As
Tom Smith ran a little bit deep into the corner down at turn 4, M-Shep followed him off in sympathy, and that man Stereogram is having a look around the outside of M-Shep. Go on then, make it work. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. Stereogram is on steroids, I think. He's through and up into 9th place. What a move from Stereogram. He really is having a fantastic afternoon in the rain here. He is the rain man, and he's through into 9th place.
Brilliant stuff, fantastic. I'd say Parsa has just got past Red Bull Game of 14. But, well, where can Stereogram and Shepard finish in this race, I wonder? Definitely top 10, you have to say, is right there for both of them.
Yeah, they really are having a fine afternoon in the rain. M-Shep up to himself, but the star of the show, it's Stereogram, up 9 places from his starting position, as Shep now is going to come straight back at him. Look at the slipstream he's got. He's flying past. What kind of setup you got on that? Dry? Must be. He's through and up a place, and now look at Mr. John's coming steaming in. Clips the back of M-Shep. Not as big a contact as I thought it would be. And now M-Shep spins into the wall. Front wing damage.
Oh, no.
And race ruined after such a fine performance for M-Shep.
And we've got Magic Poop Cannon and Bazza in the pit lane, and Bazza's putting inters on. I imagine Magic Poop Cannon's about to do the same. Will this work? Everybody else has stayed out. Dom pits actually as well.
Yeah, they're all coming in for intermediates then. Magic, Poop Cannon and Bazza, the first to blink. But Dan, the question is, if it's going to dry out, is it possible in a 25% race to just run straight onto the dry tyres? That might be the wiser choice.
It may well be the wiser choice, yeah, but I don't know if you want to take that risk or not. I suppose in a 25% race it would be easier, wouldn't it, theoretically, I suppose. But will it dry out completely? Will it be okay for dry tyres? How long will that be? Obviously, we're nowhere near seeing DRS being enabled, so we'll have to see if Magic Poop Cannon can close in and Bazza on this lap. Bazza's come out right behind Red Bull Kim, so he's going to have to try and get that move done as soon as possible. It's 19 seconds now, the gap for Magic Poop Cannon. He's got Parson indecisive right in front of him. Oh dear.
That's not what you want if you're Poop Cannon, seeing these two battle away. Remember, they're not being lapped, it's 4 position, and he slithers up the inside of indecisive, and now he can set about getting after Parsa. Well negotiated, well managed from Magic Poop Cannon there, just biding his time, waiting for the opportunity and taking it. Clever driving there, so easy to run into the back of those guys while they're too busy watching each other. Good race management there from Magic Poop Cannon, traffic management, whatever you want to call it. That's one dispatched. Now they can set about Parsa. That's maybe not the line I'd have taken, but he's found a way through, and he's ahead of Parsa by getting onto that dry line.
Chris Johnson's coming in, and so is Cena. Jacko stays out. Alex Afro also comes in. So does Blown Wheelnut. So they're all coming in now, apart from Jacko.
So Jacko may be the only man that's considering that switch to dries directly. Mr. John also. Stereogram also continuing on his merry way. Tell you what, we could be on for a shock result from 1 and 2 of these drivers if that works out. Stereogram probably deserves it. He's driven so well this afternoon. So Magic Poop Cannon will now lead this race, or net lead it, I suppose. Bazza will now be second. Indecisive is now up a place. Chris Johnson net third.
Yeah, so Chris Johnson, where the positions pretty much stay the same then for the guys towards the front in terms of after pit stops with Poop Cannon, Bazza, then Chris Johnson, Cena in fourth, Alex After right behind them there. So now this all comes down then now, of course, as you say, to when will the track dry up? Because it looks as though both the racing points do not intend to be making a pit stop anytime soon.
Got a move here from Chris Johnson on indecisive, and he makes it stick and moves up into 6th position. Beautiful stuff there from Chris Johnson. gets himself ahead of Indecisive, demotes him to 7th, and the wet tyres really starting to struggle now, but as Magic Poop Cannon now sits about Stereogram. Round the outside he will try as we look from the helicopter shot, can't get through, and still Stereogram really is being as stubborn as possible out there, but this time resistance is futile, because here comes Magic Poop Cannon through and up into 3rd position.
So it's 13 seconds then, the gap for Magic Poop Cannon on to Jacko in the lead. Obviously that will be easily enough to get through if he makes a pit stop. Cena gets into 8th place now, and it looks like you have a McLaren spun of Blair Grills lost his front wing. Bazette now also going for Stereogram for 4th place, and we will see if Jacko comes in. I don't think he will.
Let's see.
He does not.
He's just got to keep going. Will Mr. John do the same? Are both Racing Points planning? I mean, they will be able to double stack on the right lap because there's an 11-second gap between them. Could it be an inspired call from Racing Point? No, Mr. John is in.
Mr. John is in, so it was a 151.3 for Jacko on that last lap. Magic Poop Cannon is a 148.0, and then Basil also goes a 147.1 for fastest lap, so clearly Inters are the tyre to be on at this stage.
Yeah, but even still, it's going to take 2 or 3, maybe 4 laps to catch Jacko, so by then it might be dries. It's a gamble, but it could be a worthwhile one.
Yeah, very much so. It looks like South Africa just had a bit of a moment there because he just lost a position to Blown Wheelnut, who's gone through into 7th, having a great race, Blown Wheelnut as well. Stereogram still also yet to pit. Red Bull Kim also. Got a yellow flag out. Someone gone off.
Indecisive, is it? No, it's Ben.
No, it's a McLaren. It's a McLaren again.
M-Shep down to 17th, he's reversing. Well, we spoke about how good a race he was having. It's fell apart very, very quickly for M-Shep. That's the 2nd time he spun down there in this race, and his race has fell apart. Jacko, by the way, holding that lead at the minute, around 11 seconds. He's not lost much time in the first half of this lap. A second or so. Not bad.
Yeah, it's really, it's not as much as I thought it was going to be, but a bit more this time on this second sector. Look, gone to 10.2. So losing a bit more time as he's just having to gingerly make his way through the corners here, Jacko. It's like there's an egg underneath the throttle pedal as Dom Smith goes into 9th ahead of Red Bull Kim also on the wets.
I've got to say, I love that analogy, Dan. I know, I think it's Martin Brunder that loves to say it. It really is one of the best analogies, isn't it, you can have. And yeah, it's so true. It is as if there's an egg underneath the throttle pedal and you just don't want to break it. As
exactly.
Jacko makes his way up towards the final corner again, and it's another lap going by, but the gap's coming down quite a bit this time round, 8.5 now. Now that's quite a considerable gap down. That's maybe 4 seconds.
Yeah, it was a 150.9 for Jacko on the last lap, and as Magic Poop Cannon crossed the line, it's the 156.6. So yeah, it's what, four and a bit seconds on that lap as Stereogram gets past Cena.
Wow.
So Cena must have got through, and then Stereogram's got him straight back, and we have a virtual safety car. Oh, that's bad timing for Jacko.
Well, is it though? Because I don't think it is. Because
well, very true. Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think he'd have been coming in anyway, and it just means he's got time. A neutralised speed to hold the gap and let it dry a little bit more. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It actually could work wonderfully well for Jacko. It could work fantastically well for him if this is a long VSC. I think we've got 2 retirements. Blake Grills is out, so is Indecisive, and we're immediately back underway again.
And the gaps come right down though. Jacko's had a nightmare on that VSC. It's now down to 4.8. Has he been sleeping?
I imagine it's quite difficult to start to get going again once you're on the wrong tyres after the virtual safety car is blown. Wheelnut so it's 5th place. He's just overtaken Stereogram and Cena at turn 6.
Blown Wheelnut on a charge then. Look at this, it's so close in there. Cena down the inside on Stereogram. Brave and Fortune might just favour the Brave this time round. Stereogram keeps his nose in, and
no.
And the fine race that Stereogram had been having is now beginning to disappear as he goes for a spin. Did he need to keep his nose in? Probably not. Should he have been left more space? Possibly. But when you're on the wrong tyres and the move's going to come anyway, why put yourself at risk?
Yeah, I think it was probably best if he was just to accept that the move was done there for Cena and just back out of that one. Now he's down to 9th place on the wrong tyre. Here we go then, lap 9, 5 laps to go. Jacko is surely going to stay out once again, and Magic Poop Cannon is continuing to gain. You have to imagine by the end of the next lap he's going to be right on him.
Probably past him in fact, as Sayer Sports now puts a move on Stereogram, who's now beginning to drop like a fly. Mr. John from a long way back, that's late, that's going to be contact, bang! Into the side of Sayer Sports, and that's a lot of damage on Mr. John's car. I wonder if Sayer Sports has got damage as well. It's just a little bit too late, caught himself out, didn't jump out of the move quickly enough, and just rammed into the side of the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's what can happen sometimes, can't it? And as James John obviously gets a penalty for that. What are you seeing, Andy?
I tell you what, Dan, I would be considering dry tyres this lap. If I was Jacko.
I mean, has Jacko played this absolutely perfectly? Because it's not raining. It is indeed not raining. The rain has stopped.
There is a slightly dry line in the middle of that racetrack. Is it dry enough though? I'm just looking at it.
Well, I mean, he's going to have to pit at some point soon because he's really struggling now. He's almost slow motion through turn 9, turn 10. I imagine Buchanan is surely going to go for a move here, is he?
Oh, he needs to because Baz is coming at him. Chris Johnson will be coming at him, and Jacko is as slow as a bus through that section of the racetrack. And here comes Magic Poop Cannon now. This is just going to be an absolute breeze by. It's like Dundee of the Premier League passing Kilmarnock in the Championship. It's easy. And Magic Poop Cannon is, well, I tell you what, Jacko's putting up more of a fight than he thought he would. He's going to go down the outside. And he's going to try and cut back on the exit. Surely won't have the traction for that. He will not. Magic Poop Cannon now leads. And is this the moment Jacko goes for the pits? No,
it's not.
Baza does.
Well, could be a crucial move that for Baza if he's going to put the dry tyres on, and if we get a message saying DRS enabled at any moment now, it could work perfectly for him.
Yeah, I don't know why Jacko didn't do it there, because he would have lost time anyway, being overtaken. So yeah, just take the time loss of maybe being on the wrong tyre for a lap, and it probably evens itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I totally agree. I would have pissed at that moment there if I were Jacko, but we'll see if it still works out for him. Bazet is going to come out in some, and Dom also picks for dry tyres, so does Say Sports. Is Parser, I think he's going to come out just ahead of Parser there, and we'll see if Bazet can get those tyres up to temperature.
Well, needs to quickly, because he's ballet dancing, almost sliding on ice through the first couple of corners, sawing at the wheel, looking to get some kind of temperature in them. Lap 10 out of 14. Vaza is the first man to blink, and he's now being attacked by Parser, seemingly.
And Jacko and Chris Johnson are side by side as DRS is enabled. Chris Johnson gets into second place, and Jacko must be thinking maybe I should have pissed on that last lap. But, well, you have to imagine surely this lap they will be all in for dries.
Yeah, two things Jacko did wrong. Not timing his VSC Delta very well, and not putting on that last lap. If he did both of those things correctly, he'd be the net leader of this Grand Prix without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, as Bazet is rapidly closing in on Alex Zaffro in 6th place, so he must be closing in towards the leaders. Cena and Blair Wheeler, oh wow, through turn 13, oh, Cena's going to just tag Blair Wheeler till he just about keeps it on the road. Another risky moment for Cena around turn 13, but he gets away with it.
There's never a dull moment when the Red Bulls are around, Dan, is there?
No,
here comes Cena
not.
on Blown Wheelnut now, on the inside. This is a little safer, but Blown Wheelnut braking extremely late. So does Cena though, and he says, if you brake late, I'll brake later. And he gets it done, but straight back underneath him will come Blown Wheelnut. I've got a funny feeling they'll be racing each other into the pit lane here.
Yeah.
They will be. Cena just in front in the minute.
Oh, it's got a safety car!
What timing? Why have we got a safety car? Who's in the wall?
It's Shepherd's out. Shepherd's out the race. Just we get a safety car now.
Oh, that's incredible timing for some of these drivers, isn't it? That's going to kill
Baza.
Baza.
Is going to take the lead?
Baza would have been hoping to. The safety car might have just put pay to that, and it has. He will be second. The safety car has surely killed his chances of taking the lead of this race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple of corners, wasn't it? But you have to imagine, considering he would have had to slow down immediately for the Delta, Bazet probably would have just got the lead there on Magic Buchanan if the safety car was not deployed.
Oh, wow. Well, what happens here? I mean, what a lap for it to come out on. I mean, we're going to have a one-lap sprint, I think, here, potentially. Maybe two.
Yeah.
To the end of this Grand Prix. This is going to be quite the finale once everyone changes to our stereogram, by the way. He's still out there on the wet tyres. Why?
Yeah, I probably should have pissed on that occasion, shouldn't he, I think. Probably should have pissed at that time round. And Alex Afro will certainly be openly pitched, because look, he's just lighting the tyres up stereogram right now. He's got no traction with them at all. And hopefully stereogram will pit on this lap to free up the drivers behind.
Are we at the same venue?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what Mr. Brundle said when Gasly went out on the wet tyres on a bone dry track. in Hockenheim 2018. Stereogram, if there's a sell-by date on them, I think it's past.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully he will come in as Say Sports, get a penalty. Say Sports, the only driver on this grid to have actually won this race in TGP2, but somebody else, it looks like, I think it's fair to say, is going to add the name to that list in 3 laps time. But will it be Magic Buchanan? Will it be Bazza? Can Chris Johnson still win this race?
Yeah, can he? Let's see. I mean, it's wide open now, isn't it, because of the safety car? We'll have to wait and see. Let's see if Stereogram pits here. Surely he's going to get off those tyres and make a pit stop and get onto a fresh set of softs. The problem for him is it's going to drop him right down towards the rear of the field now, isn't it? So not going to be good, but at the front it's certainly going to be quite the battle. Magic Buchanan, he'll be desperate to cut that lead down as Stereogram does indeed see sense and tries to drive that, what will now feel like a cross-channel ferry, into the pit lane.
Yeah, so Stereogram comes into the pit lane then in the Williams.
I actually want to see Dan when he stops the state of the tyres, so I'm just going to hold here on board to see if we get a shot of how bad a state they're in. Well, it doesn't actually show it too badly there, but there you go, he's on a fresh set of boots now. And now we can go.
It was a Williams struggle to wave the checker flag a few days ago to Williams with a pretty bad call on pitting this time round in this race, but that's a shame for Stereogram after showing such great pace early on, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, Dan. I'm gutted for him because, you know, as commentators we are supposed to be quite neutral, but there was a little bit of bias creeping into me there. I was enjoying watching him run so well, hoping for a strong result. I think gained 10 places off the start, but it wasn't to be.
Just what's going on here with Jacko and Cena? Look, they keep overtaking each other. I'm pretty sure Jacko was ahead, wasn't he? So is Jacko going to try and now get back to position side by side with each other here under the safety car?
Yeah, well, it appears they can't decide between them who was in front of who. No, you go. No, you go. No, I'll go. Okay. Well, now Jacko nearly runs into the back of the championship leader Chris Johnson as they try and sort it out, but the safety car is in this lap. Tom Penguin has joined back just in time to join the party, which is about to get rocking here in Shanghai. We're going to have 2 laps with the field all bunched up to the checkered flag. I'm pretty sure this is going to get interesting.
Cena does go into 4th place then. I could have sworn Jacko was in that 4th place.
He's still trying to get back in front.
Yeah, we'll see what happens then with this restart. This is going to... Oh, wow, this could get... Well, if I was in one of those Mercedes ahead, I'd be looking at my mirrors there, getting a bit nervous for this restart.
Yeah.
But let's see if Magic Buchanan can nail it.
Red Bull Kim up in 9th at the minute as well. He's on for a strong result if he can keep things going. And with quite a few cars in front of him with penalties, it could be an astonishing result. As high as 6th for Red Bull Kim if he can negotiate the remaining couple of laps with a good result. But we'll go to the front now and get ready for the final 2 laps of action here. This could really shape the championship. Magic Buchanan simply needs a good result. And he slowed right down. Why did he do that? And we now get going again, and he's now going to be under massive threat from Bazza towards turn 1. That was verging on dangerous there from Magic Buchanan. No one seemingly falling foul to it though, as Chris Johnson is under threat from Cena, but Bazza is desperate to try and get a move done on Magic Buchanan, isn't he?
I can only assume that Magic Buchanan misjudged it because the safety car wasn't actually in the pit lane. Once Magic Buchanan was around that final corner, it wasn't actually in the pit entry. So maybe the game just automatically slowed them down, so he misjudged that and he got away with it just.
Oh, Jacko round the outside of Cena. They were fighting each other about who should have been ahead of who at the restart, and now Jacko's fighting hard round the outside, goes blowing wheel, now he's off the road, he's going to go spinning. Oh! Holds it together. Where will he rejoin? Will he rejoin safely? Yes, he will. There's plenty of room in front of him to rejoin because Red Bull Kim, who's meant to be 9th, make that 10th. You know, he's going to hold it out here, Red Bull Kim, battling away with Passa, who gets through in the fight for 9th and 10th, but there's quite a gap back to everyone else after blowing wheel net at the restart.
There is indeed, yeah, but wow. And Bazza gets a little bit of a swap it on through 10-13, and this could give Chris Johnson a great run here to, damage limitation, I suppose, with Magic Buchanan seemingly pulling away. Can Chris Johnson make a move on a CMA for second? Bazza's pulling away, in fact, actually. He's using overtake Bazza.
Yeah, and look at Cena. He's reeled in Chris Johnson here. Chris Johnson knows he needs to limit the damage in the end. He's going to run into his teammate. Oh! Hits his teammate. No damage done Oh, goodness me, look at the screen again, Toto. He turned away, and now look at Cena under attack from Jacko. Round the outside he goes, runs wide, rejoins, and is now in front of Cena. But that will surely be an illegal overtake.
Probably carnage further behind as well. I think Blown Wheelnut's just gone round. He was side by side with a few drivers, lost a few positions after such a great race. Magic Buchanan is 2 seconds clear. Chris Johnson then, well, can he have one last go? Trying to get Bazza down the back straight. He was under threat there, though, didn't he, from Cena and Jacko, and briefly made contact. And in fact, Jacko's had a good exit.
He's had a fantastic exit. He's got a great run on him. Is he going to go? Oh, Daniel Ricciardo, of course he is! Down in the inside on the championship leader. Can't quite get through though, and Chris Johnson can breathe a sigh of relief, but Jacko is looking incredibly racy, and he now tries the outside line. It will give him the inside to the next corner, but he's unable to get through on Chris, who just holds firm and stays in third position. But this is looking very good for Magic Poopcan. He's going to take 10 points out of Chris Johnson here, potentially more if Jacko can get the move he's looking for.
Yeah, he is indeed. There's
not anymore. Big slide, and that's his chance gone, surely, for Jacko. 9/10 off. Go on, Dan.
It should be the final deployment now, won't it, of overtake for everybody. And yeah, they're all using it, and it looks like Jacko is slowly gaining on Chris Johnson. But I think, well, it's saying that it is Jacko, so maybe he might go for a dive bomb here. Will he go for it? The final attempt? No, it's too much, isn't it? Too far back.
Yeah, looks like it. Not happening there. Passes past Dom Smith further up the road, but it's all about Magic Poopcan, and then who comes round the final corner to cross the line, and in round 13 of the championship he cuts Chris Johnson's lead. He wins here in Shanghai, and the gap is cut by 10, and suddenly Poopcannon reigns supreme and reels in the championship leader.
Super close finish across the line for Dom, and I think Cena, or Parser, sorry, I think it was, but I think Parser had a penalty, and you see the results on the screen there. Then 6th place for Alex Afro, 5th for Cena. Jacko finishes 4th, and you see in the top 3 with Chris Johnson having to give the 2nd place to his teammate Bazza, and as you say, that will be a 10-point gain now for for Magic Poopcannon in the championship.
Yep, big result then for Magic Poopcannon here in Shanghai. Quite the race, interesting throughout. Plenty of action, plenty of drama, plenty of intrigue with the timing of going to dry tyres as well, and the difference of strategies that we saw from the racing point of Jacko. Didn't quite work out for him in the end, but what a win it is for Magic Poopcannon from pole, then takes the victory in the end, and
fastest lap.
Yeah, and fastest lap. Big cut in the championship, desperately needed, and he reels in championship leading Chris Johnson, and it appears there's absolutely no sign of Bazza helping out his teammate. Will that change the championship take shape? We'll wait and see. There are your final results here in Shanghai. It's Magic Poopcannon who wins, Bazza in 2nd, with Chris Johnson completing the podium in 3rd. Jacko takes 4th. He might have won it if he made the right call on tyres and was a little bit sharper on that VSC. Cena came home in 5th with Alex Zafro. Quiet race, barely seen him. Ended up 6th. Dom Smith was 7th. Mr. John was 8th. Passer 9th, and Sayer Sports completing the top 10. Stereogram, he was up, he was down, he was all over the place. He came home 11th. Blown Wheelnut was 12th. Red Bull Kim, P13. Breezer 14th. Forgettable day for Sir Tom Penguin, he only managed 15th. M. Shep, Indecisive, and Blair Grills all failing to see the checker flag. So Dan, it's that time of the day again. Driver of the day from that race?
Well, I think for the first 5 laps, I think I'd go to Stereogram. But for the race as a whole, I think probably Magic Poopcannon. Fair play to Jacko though for staying out for so long, and he very nearly made it work, didn't he? Very nearly made it work. But in the end, Magic Poopcannon just got the win. Although of course Bazza was harmed, wasn't he, by that safety car coming out at that crucial moment. Although I think Magic Poopcannon probably would have had the pace to have got past Bazza on the safety car restart, or eventually would have won the race.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And it's tight to say whether he would have actually been in front in the first place, Bazza. It's tough. But, you know,
yeah,
we'll review that one at a later date, can't we? But, yes, we head now to Hungary. And I have to agree, Magic Poopcannon for me. I was impressed, I was, with Stereogram early doors and M Shep, but it just fell away just when you didn't want it to. And it, you know, just unraveled for them. But we now head to the Hungaroring, Dan, and you know what they call this? Monaco without the barriers. Very tight, very twisty. Comes at you fast. Quite a challenge. Thoughts on it?
I really enjoy this track to drive. I know sometimes it doesn't always create the greatest racing in the world, but yeah, fun, challenging track, and actually in a way that is quite enjoyable. Like the middle sector with that. I really like the middle sector around the track. I know a lot of people do not like it at all, but I'm a big fan, and it's very satisfying when you get a lap, when you nail a lap around here.
Yep. No, I agree, Dan. It's one I really enjoy. You know, as you mentioned, as you touched on, it's not always the greatest for racing, especially in real life. But no, I have great fun racing around here. It just feels like it comes at you very quickly. You can, if you get yourself dialed in around here and start hooking up the lap, it really does feel really fun to drive, doesn't it? You feel that you can really wring the circuit's neck. And yeah, I have to totally agree. It's one of my favourites. I love the middle sector, as you say, because you know, corner after corner, one after the other. If you feel as if you're in the groove and you're in the zone, it really is very satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, although having said that, I think this is another sort of track that come next year on the F1 2022 game will be a hell of a lot more difficult with the new cars.
Yeah, well, it could be more difficult, but on the other hand, you know, lead to more overtaking and more excitement.
Oh, certainly, yeah, absolutely. That's certainly the bonus of it. But yeah, when you're in these cars with so much downforce, and it can be immensely satisfying when you get a really good lap in and you feel so quick around the majority of the corners. In fact, the corner before the final sector, if you can take that right-hander flat, which can be done, but it's very difficult. You have to get the line exactly right. It's a great feeling when you manage to hook that one up. You see how many drivers can do it here, and it is nice and sunny for the qualifying session.
Yep, it sure is. Lovely conditions greet us then here in the Hungaroring for round number 14 of the championship. And as me and Dan have just been touching on and giving you a brief preview, it is a tight, twisty track. It's a circuit where qualifying is very, very important. Not quite as important as Monaco, but important nonetheless. Best overtaking opportunity without doubt down into that first corner. If you can go side by side through there, there's an opportunity you can continue that battle despite a relatively narrow nature of the circuit right up to the end of that first sector. So, you know, there is scope for battling, there is scope for excitement, and it's not mentioned enough, Dan, but the barriers are quite close here, and if you make a mistake, it can lead to damage, not just a wee spin, because, you know, up the example at the end of turn 5 on the exit, you know, up there at high speed, very easy to slew across the track and end up in the wall. And as we've seen before, middle sector, few gravel traps, grass not far away, easy for a spin in there too, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes, and there's also that it's that awful curb as well, isn't it? The right hander is at turn 6, where if you just put your wheel on the white curb, it will immediately, without a shadow of a doubt, you will be sent into a spin. And sometimes it's very easy to forget that and easily just clip that curb, and around you'll go.
Yeah, I can't lie, Dan. I've been a victim of it many a times, because as soon as you touch that, it's danger, isn't it? It just upsets the balance of the car, and you are asking for trouble. And I'm sure.
Yeah, Alex Afro's just done it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm sure over the course of this qualifying session we're going to see someone do it, and Alex Afro's gone and done it. So there you go.
Yeah, there you show just how easy it can be. And yeah, as you say, I don't think he's going to be the only one, is he?
No, he's not. Over the course of qualifying and the race, over the course of the weekend, there will be more than just him on that list. So, here we go then. Qualifying just getting underway here in Budapest as they round the final corner. Let's see if Magic Poop Cannon can cut that gap in the championship further. Here he goes then. Let's go for a lap with him then. Everyone out there on the soft tyres, Dan. Turn 1, we spoke about it. Best overtaking opportunity on the brakes just after the 100-metre board.
Yeah, absolutely, and that that looked very nice indeed, that, didn't it? And then immediately you can deploy the DRS now for this short DRS zone down into turn 2, as looks really nice early lap and it looks quite good, you have to say, for Magic Buchanan. Let's see how he manages this one. How much speed does he decide to take through here? How much curb? Quite a decent amount. That looked good as well. He avoids, gets as close as he can to that white curb, but does not touch it and does not spin around.
Tell you what, this is very tidy, and this is what we spoke on, isn't it, just before this session started. If you feel you've got the car hooked up round here, you will be able to deliver a very special lap as Stereogram goes quickest, immediately beaten by Chris Johnson in a 1:15.8. Magic Poop Cannon looks like he's going to try and go quicker than them all. 54.2 for the second sector. Downshifting and then turning in as he now finds these final couple of corners, and they are tricky, aren't they? The car does go tight to the inside through there, but you're just waiting to pick the throttle up for the first one. So easy to run out wide, then into the final corner, slingshot it in. It will stick on the exit. Poop Cannon for the line, 1:15.7. He beats Chris Johnson, but does not beat the fine early effort we've seen here from Dom Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Magic Poop Cannon's lap looked good, so Dom must have been fantastic for the first lap out on track. And as you say, he goes quicker by 2/10 from Magic Poop Cannon. And can Dom finally get a pole? I don't think he's had a pole this season. He's been close quite a few times, but still yet to get the pole position. But this is a good way to start things for him around here.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Let's see if we can find someone else out there that's starting a quick lap. If you pass it on one in the minute. Oh, he's lost the front wing. He's off. He's been in it off somewhere. I'm going to guess it's that curb at turn 6, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Tom Penguin
yeah, I
then.
think
Go on,
he's got Cena on a lap, but it looks like he's also backed off as well because he's not running ERS and he's got blown wheel nuts. So I think we've got a few headers from the drivers.
Tell you what, Dan, this is looking very good from Sir Tom Penguin. 53.9 up to Sector 2. This could be threatening the top of the timesheets here from Tom Penguin. Basically oblivious in the first race of the night. Sir Tom Penguin round the final corner is about to turn up this evening, and he turns up by going onto the front row with an early effort. A 15.7 then from Sir Tom Penguin to open his account. We've not seen much of either Renault today, have we? Well, he's arrived here in Hungary, and that Renault looks quick.
It does indeed, yes, and this is going to be a dry race, by the way. Just had confirmation that this will be a dry race for this one, and I think Jacko's just had that spin that we all talk about, that he just speeds on about at that corner around turn 5, as I think it actually is. I think it's turn 5. So that's ruined his lap.
Yep, so not going to plan for Jacko as Baza is about to wind up to start one. I think he had this one invalidated, so I presume he's got enough fuel to go again, which he does. So here comes Baza then round the final corner in the Mercedes, second last time out, looking to go one better here this evening as he crosses the line to start his flying lap then. Big descent down into that first corner. And he slams on the brakes, spots the braking point, a little bit away from the apex, won't be too bothered about it, carried enough momentum. And then just braking downhill now into this left hand. There's so many different lines through here, Dan. There's the drivers that like to hug the inside all the way through, the ones that like to go out and then swoop back in to collect the apex. What would be your preferred line?
Yeah, I've done many a time trial lap trying to work out the perfect line through there, and it does seem to be the one where you sort of approach it, going around the outside and swoop back in to the left. That seems to be what works the best for me anyway. And Bazet gets to almost lose the car. He's going through the chicane there, but he's still pushing. Oh, had to run a bit wide there as he comes through turn 11. Let's see how much speed he decides to take through here. Has to hit the brakes, takes a bit too much curb. 54.2. That's 3/10 off Sir Tom Penguin was at that point, isn't it? I think.
Yep, it is. But I don't think Sir Tom Penguin's final sector was particularly special, so it looked a bit tentative when he got to that stage, Sir Tom Penguin. Baza certainly looks like he's attacking it a lot more, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him up towards that position. Let's see, 15.9, no, 2/10 away from Tom Penguin in the end, so he did gain a tenth or so. But I actually thought Sir Tom Penguin's final sector was a little bit worse than that, but obviously not. He's still second with 10 minutes to go.
He is indeed, yes. So I think it's quite a quiet moment at the minute out on track. Nobody really seems to be on a lap. Pass has invalidated his lap. And we've got Cena coming back to the pit lane. Got a few drivers on their out laps at the moment as we wait for the next big runs to come in then. But that's an interesting top two, isn't it, for the moment, of Dom and Sir Tom Penguin.
Yep, it is. A very interesting top two if it can stay that way. We've got Alex Zaffro and the other Renault coming across the line to start his first proper lap then of the session. What can he do as he goes down into that first corner? Remember, he's been on pole, as has his teammate Sir Tom Penguin. They got their first poles on the same night, didn't they? Remember, Dan, back a few weeks ago. Don't know what they had for breakfast. I don't know what they put in the back of the Renault for qualifying, but they were absolutely flying. Zaffro then up to the end of the first sector, 26.9, and the early signs are good for Renault round here. They look strong. Does it suit their package, or are they just driving around the track they enjoy? Perhaps that is the case, as Alex Zaffro weaves his way through the chicane, and now they come at you thick and fast, a little bit away from the apex for the first part, recovers well, keeps it on the road, but I would say he's lost a bit of time there. Let's see what the sector split's like. Then he's a bit out of shape again, and somehow holds up a 54.1, but that was getting pretty messy towards the end of the day. It looked like he was hanging on a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, he was on the ragged edge, wasn't he, through there? That's certain moments through that second sector, but he's got away with it, and we'll see what the first lap's going to be. Magic Poop kind of goes to the top on a 15.2. I'm not sure Alex Zaffro is going to beat his teammates here, but I think he'll get close. Let's see, across the line. And indeed, it is a 15.911, and it puts him into 5th place.
I think the encouraging thing to take from that lap for Alex Zaffro is there's definitely time there, no doubt about it. There's 3 or 4 tenths in that second sector. He was going wide, left, right, and centre, wasn't he? Just missing the apex and costing himself time. So, and then getting really ragged, as you say, Dan, in the final corner of that second sector. So, you know, time there, and I think he's going again.
Dom invalidated turn 11, and he was about even on his lap as well, and he's going to have to go again. He's invalidated.
Chris Johnson, he's going again, 15.8 at the minute, his best time, and he'll need a better lap time.
Oh.
What are you saying?
I think Parsons about to set a good lap here. He's just coming around the final corner. It was a decent middle sector. I think Parsons is going to get himself right involved in the top of the conversation here across the line. Yep. Goes 4th.
Yep, goes 4th quickest. We're quite disappointed with the final sector then, because that was very good, wasn't it, up to the second sector, and we're disappointed by that. So there's time in the table.
Chris is invalidated.
Yeah, Chris did invalidate. Yep.
Ooh.
So he's in a bit of trouble as Alex Zaffro is coming into the pits. Sir Tom Penguin then started a flying lap, 400ths down on his previous best through the first sector. Oh, he carried a lot of speed in there, a lot of curb, and that is an invalidation all day long, and his lap is gone.
Yeah, so we've got the top 5 of all that invalidated or in the pits right now then. Baz is on an out lap, Zaffro pit, so does Lone Wheel Nut, so they're all coming into the pit lane at the moment. We've got Cena just starting a lap. I wonder what Cena might be able to do this time. Let's see what Mr. John can do. He's coming through the final corner, yet to register the lap time on the board. We'll see where this puts him. Yep, probably midfield, you would imagine. 11th.
Yep, not spectacular, not special, but as you say, Dan, it is midfield from Mr. John. 11th quickest for him at the minute. So M-Shep running in 12th at the minute.
Oh, look at the first sector for Cena. Purple first sector for Cena, 26.6 I think that was.
Wow.
And we're going to see now if this Red Bull driver can put in a good lap time for it. Oh, there's a bit of lag there at the moment, but it was just lag. And they're all struggling, aren't they, with that corner? And he nearly loses the car. In fact, he does lose the car.
He does lose the car, and he keeps it out the wall, though. We did see that second sector can be quite tricky. Make an error, and he's exactly what he's done. But that was absolutely rapid. Speaking of rapid, Chris Johnson, 0.5 of a second up on his previous best through the second sector. And he's been a bit late in coming to the party this evening, Chris Johnson, in terms of qualifying pace. Are we finally about to see it then? The number 93 in the Mercedes, the championship leader, really needs a special lap, and as he comes up to the line, that's exactly what he's going to give us, a 1:15.1 and pole position with 6 minutes to go.
Well, the gap's down to 12 points after that race in China, and Chris Johnson needs to put that lap in, and that's exactly what he has done, and we'll see if Magic Buchanan can beat that. It's only a 10th he has to fire.
Sorry, Dan, big moment for Sir Tom Penguin there. He was a 10th up on his previous best, and just flung it away by lighting up the rear tyres, and that is not going to be an improvement. 63 across the line. Both Renaults will be getting quite frustrated here because they know there's time in the table and they just can't now get up.
Baza coming around the final corner as well. I think he's about to improve. We'll see where this puts him. It's going to be a good lap. He goes 3rd.
15.2 then. So now they're coming to the fore of the front three, aren't they? And Chris, Magic Buchanan and Baza. And I think it's kind of beginning to register to the likes of Sir Tom Penguin, Alex Zaffro, that it's going to be a tall order for them to get up towards those guys, isn't it?
I think so, yes. As see those guys all on the lap times. And I think Cena is about to come through and set another lap. Bit wide into turn 11, lost a bit of time through there, although it's a 54.0 middle sector, so this should improve his time. But I noticed in the first sector he was actually 2/10 slower than when he was on the last lap as well, so even he will know that even he's got time to find still.
Yeah, I say Cena with a perfect lap. Him and Parsa could be threatening pole themselves. So here comes Cena round the final corner. It's better this time. It's enough for a 15-7, and they're both together, separated by nothing. The two Red Bulls in 6th and 7th as it stands. Look at that. Tom Penguin, Cena and Parsa separated by nothing.
Yeah, it's fantastically close, isn't it? Dom is 5,000 slower at the second sector point on his previous lap. Blair Grills goes into second place. What a lap.
Wow, what a lap from Blair Grills then. Magic Poop Cannon, he's finding time. And it's time that might put him into the 1:14s here. Finally, they're rising to the occasion, the championship contenders. It's Chris on pole, Blair Grills, and Dom Smith with a 14.9 goes
incredible
quickest
final
of all.
sector.
What a final sector from Dom Smith. Can Magic Poop Cannon beat that? It's going to be difficult, you know. He just does by around the 10th and a half. That was a phenomenal final sector from Magic Poop Cannon. Purple all around the lap, and that's going to take some beating.
It is indeed. That's a brilliant lap by Magic Poop Cannon. Dom in a great middle sector, final sector. It looked like he had it because, as I said, he was 5,000 off on the previous lap, so it must have been one hell of a final sector for Dom, and he's in second place. Oh, Parsa on a lap time. Parsa was on a lap, and Alex Afro spun right in front of him, and he just avoided making contact, and Parsa didn't even have to back out or anything. So we'll see what Parsa's middle sector is going to be. I think it's going to be good, you know. 53.6.
It is good, all right. 53.6. So let's see if he can get that final sector hooked up this time. Parsa, what can he do? Because it's going to be good to threaten towards the front. Gets on the curb. Don't want to be doing that.
Oh dear.
And he's round again. Oh dear. Not ideal.
Oh, the lap time's in there, isn't it, for the Red Bulls and the Renaults, but just can't get the perfect lap in.
Yep, there's a track that punishes. We said it, didn't we? And it's proving that again. And Parsa just getting on the curb. It's a similar curb to the one up at turn 6. It's slightly more forgiving, but you don't want to be on it, Dan.
No, you do not, and it did always look like, wasn't it, once he made contact with that curve, he was going to go round, and that's what happened. Got pretty easy coming through the final corner. Because he improve on his lap time? Yes, he does, and he goes ahead of Red Bull Kim in 15th place. Meanwhile, got Jacko and Saya Sports, who are only just coming out now for outlap, so have they had a few invalidations in this session, I wonder?
Perhaps they have. Jacko and Saya Sports then only now coming out, and no lap time on the board for them. A bit of a lull at the session here. Most drivers in the pit before they start their final runs. Alex Zafro has started a flying lap. He's 900th down in his previous best. Both Reynolds are slightly out of sync because Sir Tom Penguin is starting a flying lap as well, and that is an invalidation if you've ever seen one from Alex Zafro. Renault will be so frustrated here because this is a track they can go well at.
Yeah, the lap time's been in there for them, hasn't it? And I don't know if Alex will be able to go again. He might. But yeah, that's a huge shame for him.
Sir Tom Penguin then, he's on a flying lap then, sweeping down the hill and about to come to the end of that first sector. What's it looking like? Oh, it's a 26.6 for the first sector from Sir Tom Penguin. If there was ever any doubt that the times in the car, it's showing there that there's plenty there. A little bit wide though on the exit of 6, that would have cost him time. Didn't pick up the throttle as he would have liked, and now sliding the rear. He's now getting a little bit ragged as Sir Tom Penguin as he chases the lap time. It's not the perfect lap, but it should still be steady. What's it like through the middle sector? 52, 53, 53, 4!
Oh, this is good.
This is very good for Sir Tom Penguin. Is it potentially a second pole position then for Sir Tom Penguin? Would be something special with knowing that the Renaults have had the pace since the start of the session. They've just not been able to deliver it. What about Tom Penguin now? Can he this time deliver it? He comes round the final corner, heading for the line. Is it pole position? No, it's third place. A 15 flat, but it's a good effort.
Yeah, good lap, still a good lap, and probably the best I've seen somebody take the middle sector so far in this session, to be honest. It was all hooked up really well. But we'll see what Alex Afro's gone again. Alex Afro has gone again. Meanwhile, the guys are also towards the front are all starting their final laps as well. The laps are going to come flying in here thick and fast now.
They sure are. Let's see what Alex Afro can do at the end of his middle sector. Not as special, a 53.7. It's still well up in his best. and it should see him move up the order. Nowhere near Sir Tom Penguin though, but still should bring some kind of improvement. Currently 10th fastest.
Goes 4th.
So Chris Johnson goes 4th then. We'll watch Zafro to the final corner, and then we'll start looking at some lap times. Zafro goes 7th then. So we've got a started of a flying lap from Dom Smith. Magic Poop Cannon has started a flying lap.
Yeah, Chris Johnson, sorry, they set that lap beforehand, I think, and he's slightly off in the first sector, so Blair Grills invalidates his lap as well.
Oh dear, not good for Blair Grills. Jacko's on 1-2, he's a fraction down. What are you seeing?
Cena flying in the middle sector. Cena might be able to put a big lap in here.
It could be enough to move towards the front row, maybe pole position then. Cena round the final corner. We spoke about the Renaults finding speed. We knew they had the pace in them. We knew Red Bull did too, and there is confirmation of that as Cena moves up onto the front row alongside Magic Poop Cannon. But there is cars to come. Magic Poop Cannon is one of them. Dom Smith is another one of them. Chris Johnson is bailed out, I think. Yeah, no, he's on
Chris Johnson's still pushing. He's still pushing. He's going quicker.
Let's stick with Chris Johnson then as he comes round the final corner. What an end to this qualifying session we are seeing here. He needs a big lap here. He's currently 5th quickest. Chris Johnson, front row, cannot beat Poop Cannon. Dom Smith's invalidated, I think. So close at the front is Magic Poop Cannon. Looks to try and extend his advantage. There is no one that can beat him. He is on pole here. Poop Cannon, can he make it even better? Yes, he can. 1:14.6. He is on a mission tonight. 2 poles and a race win. Will he make it 2 from 2 on both counts?
Oh, what a session. Felt like 7, 8 different drivers could have took that pole there. And there'll still be several drivers very disappointed, I imagine, with how the session went ultimately.
Yep.
Dom was improving at the end and invalidated as well.
Yeah, they were all coming thick and fast. And yeah, you're absolutely right. There was pace in the Poop Cannon. There was pace in Chris Johnson. There was pace down at Red Bull, pace at Renault, pace in one of the Alpha Tauris, pace in a McLaren of Blair Grills. Something we've not seen very often this season, but we've gone from a race where the field spread was huge to a race where it's quite small. And as it rounds off, it's Magic Poop Cannon that's quickest, with Chris Johnson 2nd and Cena 3rd. Dom Smith is 4th, Sir Tom Penguin 5th, with Blair Grills in 6th. Jacko is 7th, Alex Zafro 8th, Buzzer 9th, and Parsa rounds at the top 10. Sayre Sports, Blown Milner, Indecisive, Mr. John, M-Ship, Stereogram, Breezer, and Red Bull Kim complete the 18 runners. And Dan, I've got to say, that was a very, very enjoyable session.
Frantic stuff, wasn't it? And let's hope we get a race similar. And we're heading into this race with 12 points now, the gap between Magic Poop Cannon, well, between Chris Johnson in the lead, of course, and Magic Poop Cannon just behind. Magic Poop Cannon, though, on the track here, is on pole.
He sure is. And a track where overtaking is difficult. A fantastic opportunity. It really is a fantastic opportunity for Magic Poop Cannon to now take the championship lead. Dan, what is it? 6 points, did you say?
12 points.
12 points. Well, even still, a big opportunity to cut it right down, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes. Got to try and nail the start, though. You remember, I know China was wet, wasn't it? But Chris Johnson got a far greater start than Magic Poop Cannon. Magic Poop Cannon lost places. Chris Johnson gained some.
Yep, well, here we go then, round 14 of the championship here at the Hungaroring. The 5 red lights are coming on. Who'll get to turn 1 first as the lights go out and we are racing? It's Magic Poop Cannon on pole. Chris Johnson has got the jump though. It's a great start from the championship leader. A crucial move. Look at Dom Smith steaming up the inside. He's going to get involved with the championship contenders and very nearly gets it done. In the end, he drops to 3rd. What a start from Chris Johnson, moving up past his main rival and puts the brakes on Bossy's charge. Huge move. Chris leads, Poop Cannon 2nd and Dom Smith 3rd.
Such a shame that didn't work for Dom because he nearly got into the lead there, but he isn't there. It's Cena, he's ahead of Cena. Cena nearly tried to get him back but couldn't do it. Chris Johnson in the lead then runs a bit wild, but he's okay through there. And Magic Poop Cannon has to settle for 2nd place here. Tom Beck with a spun! Oh no! He has, yeah, at that curb, and he's going to lose a load of positions.
Disaster for Sir Tom Penguin then. He and his Renault teammate have both fell foul to that curb. But it's Chris Johnson then that leads this Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the position changes on this opening lap. 13 down then for Sir Tom Penguin. Big movers, M-Shep, Stereogram up, both up 3. Breezer and Red Bull Kim up 2. A few up 1, but nothing major. But then, yeah, it is Chris Johnson though that has taken the lead from Magic Poop Cannon. That is the major move of +1 and down 1, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but Dom must be so disappointed, mustn't he, if he just managed to hold it round there into the first corner. I think he just had a poor exit from the corner, having to take the tighter line, and it allowed Chris Johnson to get back through as Dom in third place in the bit of a lead. Oh,
Magic
Pukanen thought about it.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that. I didn't expect it to be getting close down that straight there, but he certainly did. We saw that Chris Johnson didn't have much straight line speed in China, didn't we? And maybe it's the same here, and Magic Pukanen really is looking aggrieved and is determined to put things right after the start of the race, where he got a tardy getaway. Chris Johnson from the dirty side breezed past him before they even got to turn one. Dom Smith had a better start than the pair of them, and as you say, he was very unfortunate not to take the lead. But it's now Chris, Pukanen and Dom, the top three, and there's quite a few guys with pace in this race today, so it might not necessarily be between the two front runners and Chris Johnson, the man who's been ever so consistent this season when it comes to time penalties, benefiting from others, gets one after just 1.5 laps.
How has he done that? How have you done that, Chris? Magic Pukanen will that'll relax the nerves slightly, won't it? Within a lap and a half, gets a 3-second penalty. That is not good at all for him, and really now it's Magic Pukanen with a theoretical lead in this race.
It is. It's not been the greatest night by any stretch of the imagination, has it, from Chris Johnson? He's looked a little bit average, I think is fair to say, going so far tonight, going by his recent form, especially in qualifying trim in the first race. Just really wasn't working out for him at all. But Magic Pukanen now has a half-second gap to make up, and I don't think he'll be too keen to make the move. He doesn't need to now.
Yeah, he doesn't have to, does he? And of course, as you say, it's very difficult to overtake here, so it might even be bordering on risky to actually try and attempt the move. But I don't know, Dom's still there, I suppose, keeping them honest. I guess the gap's a second, and Dom seems to be able to pull in a little bit towards the end of the lap, and it's down the first sector where they seem to pull away a bit, the top two. So we'll see how this plays out, and it's going to be interesting. This could possibly all come down to the pit stops as well, which are also going to be crucial. Cena now in fourth place gets a penalty as well.
Yeah, they're picking up the time penalties very quickly out there, aren't they? No messing around. Plenty of them. And a time penalty for Cena as we go back to Parsa. 10th place, quite close to Sayre Sports. Quite congested in that midfield. Not many cars, separated by over a second at this stage of the Grand Prix. And as we suspected, given how tight the field is this afternoon. So, let's see if Parsa can think about a move. We know, Dan, that turn one is without doubt the best place to make one. Parsa the closest to anyone on the racetrack to maybe making one. Let's see if he can get close enough to Sayre Sports around the final corner.
It's a good exit for Magic Pukanen. He's going to go for the lead here around the outside. Can he do it?
Oh, here he goes then. Pukanen on the outside. Where's he finding the speed from? He really is going for it. Magic Pukanen with the ERS down that straight. Chris Johnson now under a little bit of pressure, thinking about going down the outside. Can't quite do it, and Johnson holds on for now, but Pukanen is not messing around.
Well, he got a great exit off the final corner, Magic Pukanen. Chris Johnson seems to be struggling already with the rear tyres, and it's allowed Magic Pukanen to just close straight in every time. But it's also big and Dom into play now as well. Yeah,
Dom Smith now right back in this. Well, we see an undercut from the likes of he or Cena here to try and get track position in a track where it's so important. As they both ride the curb quite considerably.
Incredible.
There. Yeah, it was like me over the speed bumps when I'm driving around the town, Dan. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a huge clout of the curve, especially for Magic Pukanen, but and Cena almost then ran into the back of Dom Smith, but got away with it, as Chris Johnson in fact actually managed to pull away a little bit through that segment. So we'll see around the exit of this corner, now the final corner, if Magic Pukanen manages to close in a bit more. He's certainly not going to have DRS this time round though.
Yeah, he's dropped back. Cena now threatens Dom Smith, and he's got the fine exit off that corner. Dom though getting the DRS, therefore makes it difficult for Cena to make the move, and Cena has absolutely blitzed the battery, so good luck making a move there. And Blair Grills is now gaining on him, and he might be thinking about a move quite soon, as Cena tries to pull alongside Dom Smith there and can't quite do it, and he stays in fourth place.
Oh, it's like it's sort of just all bubbling, isn't it? And at some point it feels like something very dramatic is going to happen here between these top five. They're all relatively close together. Top five in this race right now, built a bit of a gap to Jacko in sixth, but they do seem to just constantly closing in on each other, thinking about the move, and then suddenly thinking better of it.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's Blair Grills then, who's at the end of that group in fifth, threatens Cena. Quite the train. Looks like Chris Johnson is almost checked out now? Is Poop Cannon maybe a little bit flustered with the train behind him that's forming? What's going on there? Because he was quite comfortably clinging on to Chris, and more than that, he was actually all over the back of him at the end of the straights.
Yeah.
And now it's opened up to 1.6. So, yeah, he'll need to be careful. Doesn't want it to get too much bigger. Otherwise, he'll be outside the 3 second window. Oh, and they're all coming in. In comes Poop Cannon, Dom, and Cena. A massive attempt at an undercut here on Chris Johnson.
Well, that's really interesting, isn't it? All of them coming in, and the three behind Chris Johnson.
What are they doing?
Well, I'm not sure what Chris is going to think about that.
What are they doing down at Red Bull? Are they stupid?
Oh no! They're going to have to keep trying to tow each other in the pit lane.
It's not too bad. They will get away with it. There was a hold though for Parsa, and yeah, well, it's not ideal. It was at least 2 seconds he lost there while they waited on the tyres coming out, and that's not worked at all well.
Well, Magic Poop Cannon just comes out ahead of Red Bull Kim and Dom, and does Cena just get out ahead of Red Bull Kim as well? I think no, he doesn't. So that's not gone well at all. It's a disastrous few seconds for Red Bull, although Cena immediately tries to get the position back.
Diving down the inside of Red Bull Kim, and he's through. Argy-bargy stuff there between them. Kim tried to shut the door, and Cena said, no, I'm coming through, and bang, there was contact, and Cena's up to 10th, and Red Bull Kim down to 11th.
Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? We know Chris Johnson's got the penalty, and Chris Johnson's 6/10 down on his quickest lap so far. So is Chris Johnson going to have to immediately react? I think he probably will have to. Let's see.
Looks like he's playing the long game, Dan. So, not too sure what Chris Johnson's thinking. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he can think, possibly, but he must be trying something. So Chris Johnson goes for another lap. Blair Grills, though, he's in the pits, and he's pitting now. He's reacting, but he will be coming out behind them, won't he?
He will indeed, as Magic Poop Cannon is right on the back of Stereogram. Magic Poop Cannon's got to try and clear Stereogram. Here's Blair Grills, now comes into the pit lane.
Yep, and here comes Poop Cannon, easy as that. Through he goes, and that's good positioning of the track to get it through on Stereogram, because Dom Smith now is going to have trouble getting through at any part of the racetrack now until he gets back right to the start. As Cena and Blair Grills come together on pit exit. That was Blair Grills trying to get that position on the overcut from Cena. There was contact, and now there's contact again, and that's front wing damage for Blair Grills, and Cena will carry on wounded but unaffected.
Not a great moment there, was that then for Blair Grills? Oh, it's Dom and Stereogram. Dom goes off trying to get past Stereogram. Oh.
Very, very close there to a massive crash between them. But Dom Smith, at the minute, has to stay where he is in 8th place, and he's feeling the annoyance, the pressure of being stuck here when he's got a real chance of winning a race. And we did say it, Dan, didn't we? It's not the right place in the track to catch him. It was for his rival, Magic Poop Cannon, though. And there's just no way through. Can Dom now get it done? He will go down the outside. He expects Stereogram to try and defend it, and indeed he does, and they will make contact, and Stereogram slides, loses out to Cena now, and drops to 9th.
And we've got Chris Johnson in the pit lane. Magic Poop Cannon's coming around the final corner. Chris Johnson is on the way out of the pit lane, but I think Magic Poop Cannon is it going to do it? Is it going to jump him? It's going to be close.
He should get it done, surely. Where is he? Poop Cannon then. Where is he?
Side by side, the right side by side into turn 1.
Oh, that's going to be very, very close. There's Magic Poop Cannon got it done. He's squeezed out onto the AstroTurf. This is huge for the lead of the race. And he's got the inside line, but Chris Johnson gets across and covers it, and somehow retains the lead of the Grand Prix. And Dan, I have to say, I am surprised by that.
Yeah, I thought Poop Cannon had that. I really did. But Magic Poop Cannon's still going to come try and have a go and maybe up here. And there's the 2 championship contenders battling it out here. What a shame Chris Johnson has that penalty. But, well, we have to see now. Chris Johnson, can he pull away from Magic Poop Cannon in these next 10 laps?
Well, that is probably his only opportunity of winning the race, getting fresher tyres, retaining track position, and now he's got a chance to build it. Can he do it? With some performance to be good.
It's also incredibly close between Dom and Cena right now. Blake Grills is still keeping them honest as well, considering he's got that front wing damage. He's doing well to sort of stay within range, although, yeah, and he's still there. Baz is just behind as well.
Yeah, and Alex Afro right there too, so could be quite a few cars queuing up for a final podium spot this afternoon as the front two begin to check out towards the front. M-Shep, by the way, leads this race at the minute.
He does.
Which is surprising somewhat, but go on, M-Shep.
Here comes Poop Cannon.
Yep, here he comes.
Backs out of it.
Here comes Cena though. Oh, as Jacko comes out the pit. Cena was trying to go down the inside, but he was So he's path blocked by a Jackal exiting the pits, and now Jackal's round and Blue Girls is round as well.
Oh no!
Oh, absolute mayhem down at turn 1, Omni shambles, and Blue Girls will rejoin the track down in 30th place, and Parsa rejoins in 12th. He's been off the road as well.
So Cena gets himself involved in another incident then from a driver coming out the pit lane, and this time Blake Dills then got caught up in it again, but it also sent him into a spin and Jacko into a spin. I don't think the driver was going to be happy with Cena after that, and look at the drivers now all forming up behind Dom.
Yep, they're all forming there, and this is now for the final podium spot. You've got Dom, Cena and Baza, and then Alex Zafro, who's putting together a nice tidy little race after what can only be described as a blow-par performance in qualifying, because we knew he had speed, just couldn't hook it all up. It's coming together for him in the race though. He's not making many errors, and there's a potential podium opportunity to be sniffed at here, because 2 of the cars in front have a penalty and he doesn't, and now Dom's wide. Dom's very wide, and now Cena might sense an opportunity here going into the final corner. Not quite close enough. The 4 of them in the line. You've got an Alpha Tauri, a Red Bull, a Mercedes and a Renault, all jostling for position. Dom Smith defending to the pit wall, almost Barrichello-esque, and now down the outside goes Cena. Can he make it work on Dom Smith? He'll be forced a long way round by Smith. Onto the curb he goes, and Smith covers it off brilliantly, and Cena still can't go through. He just bans it right down the inside, can't make it work, clubs Dom Smith. Look at Baza! Oh, that's absolutely unbelievable! Right round the outside of both of them, leaving them standing still. 2 cars, 1 move, outside, Baza, magnificent.
Amazing, it's just like he just had all the grip in the world there, didn't he, through that line, and just gets the pair of them, and he's pulled right away as well. What a fantastic move that was, and he has a penalty, so pulling away is crucial for him right now.
Oh, it's brilliance from Baza in Budapest, isn't it? Fantastic work there from him, and he moves up into 6th position. Dom Smith now 7th, and look at Zafro squeezing through on Cena, and up into 8th, and he might even be threatening Dom Smith for that position as well now. And if he does get through and he keeps within 3 seconds of Baza, that would be a podium.
Just towards the front, Mr. John still has some pisses, and Chris Johnson's had trouble trying to get past them, and it's allowed Magic Poop Cannon to get right in as well here. Chris Johnson's going to go for the move, Magic Poop Cannon's going to go for it as well. Oh,
3 wide almost into the corner, through goes Poop Cannon, couldn't quite get through on Chris Johnson, but he is crucially ahead of Mr. John, and now can begin his assault on the championship leader. Wow, this race is coming alive here in the Hungaroring. As Cena
and Alex Zafro again making contact with the driver at turn 1.
Yeah, it's absolute mayhem down there again as Jacko tries to get himself involved. Having a look up the inside of Cena, that's brave, and that was nearly contact and nearly a crash.
This is a fantastic race, isn't it? As this hits off, Ego goes wide, Alex Zafro's gone a bit wide, then Cena's going to go for it. Oh, this could be airplane.
Outside! Oh, no way through there, and Zafro holds on to 8th position. I thought we were heading for a Ralph Furman moment there, and thankfully we didn't. As Jacko has a look up the inside of Cena, that's never on round there, and he gets what he deserves, a spin. And that was just ludicrous, really. You're not going to squeeze down the inside there, and Jacko drops to 12. Yeah,
that was the sort of a risky, sort of just Dan there going for the kind of move there, wasn't it? Still 7/10 between Chris Johnson and Jacko, and is that Cena who's got to run on Alex Zafro now once again? These two are still fighting with each other.
Oh, and he just squeezes them out onto the curb. No, you do not, says Alex Zafro. And this is now quickly becoming a battle for 4th, because Dom Smith has not got the pace and Baza has quite literally checked out.
And Poop Cannon and Chris Johnson are side by side. Chris Johnson goes wide. They're going to be side by side to turn 2.
And it looks like Poop Cannon's got the outside line. Usually a good line, just ask Baza, but nope, not a line that takes him through. And he stays behind him for now as they're about to catch M-Shep, and indecisive. Wow.
And Chris Johnson's penalty has actually now gotten to 6 seconds, so this is disastrous for Chris.
It really is. He could be under threat from the likes of Baza pretty soon if he does not clear these guys quickly and continues battling with his championship rival.
Mr. John goes for a spin. He was doing well on the the alternative strategy, but now he's gone for a spin. That's going to lose him some time. As in fact, he's going to come. Oh, Dom and Alex Zafro were all right close still and getting together. I thought Dom was going to catch up to Mr. John, but he didn't.
He did not manage it. Look how close this is between so many cars. They're all 3/10 each apart. As Zafro now under threat from Cena as he tries to turn his attention to the car in front. Dom Smith is holding them up so much here, and Cena now trying to get a run. They're going to be 3 wide nearly. Look at this, Zafro trying the inside. And Cena tries the inside on him, and now Cena clips him. He's got damage. Parser now sees the opportunity and seizes it, takes the place, and Blown Wheel Nut now takes the place on Cena. This is crazy.
Chris Johnson gets past Indecisive, then Indecisive and Shepard are staying out, and they're making it really difficult for Magic Buchanan and Chris Johnson trying to get through the field. Chris Johnson's through though, and sorry, Mr. John Pitts. Here comes Alex Afro.
Alex Afro then on this. I don't know where to look at the minute. Alex Afro round the outside. He goes on Dom Smith. Has he now got a route down the inside? I don't think he does. Maybe he will. Let's see now. Is he going to break late enough? Oh, that's close between he and Dom Smith. The F1 video editors battling again for the second week in a row. Dom Smith holding on. Zafro down the outside onto the grass. 3-second time penalty picked up in the battle. Side by side up the hill, and Dom Smith's just held on to that one. This is astonishing stuff.
Oh wow, so much we got overtaken around Hungary. They're all going at it from all different corners and all different attempts.
Oh, it's absolutely wild. It's corner cut crazy here, but Dom Smith somehow holds on still as Zafro is left increasingly frustrated. Parsa's there, Blown Wheel Nut's there, Cena's there. They're all there, queuing up for a piece of Dom Smith's diffuser. None of them able to get through though. Magic
Chris Johnson's about to outright take the lead. Yeah, Indecisive's pissed as Chris Johnson leads now.
Yeah, and it will be around a second between he and Magic Poop Cannon. So let's see how that one pans out, but we've got such a train of cars here fighting over the remaining points here. Alex Zafro then, round the final corner, opens up the DRS. He's got Parsa in his slipstream though, and he's going to be under a little bit of pressure here into turn one. Look at this, here comes Parsa, down the inside he goes. Is he going to get through? Not quite. Zafro is going to be under pressure though in the exit. Parsa's now got the run. He's got the slipstream from Dom as well. Round the outside he goes. Is he going to try the Baza? Yes, he is. There's one move. Can he get through in the other? No. Can he get through in one as Zafro gets back through?
I'll tell you what, Andy. I think Indecisive could be up for a great result here because all he's battling, and Indecisive's gone on the long run on the medium tyres. Now he's on fresh softs. And he's catching right up to Parsa, Zafro and Dom.
He's going to walk past them. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be easy, surely, for Indecisive on these soft compound tyres. They want to get the move done quickly as Dom Smith is just driving like he's in a lorry. There's no way through on this tight track for the likes of Alex Zafro and Parsa. I think Dom Smith wants a job with Eddie Stopper. It's unbelievable. Oh! And it's all came to grief. There's going to be a discussion, a briefing inside the Formula One offices tomorrow, and it's just got even worse because now Indecisive is banging wheels with Alex Zafro, and Indecisive
it's a virtual safety car,
and it's a virtual safety car. It's chaos and confusion.
My word, absolute carnage then. So it was on that run down to turn 12, wasn't it? And Alex Zafro and Dom come together, and so who Dom pits, Alex Zafro pits now, a virtual safety car, which obviously will help them somewhat. But wow, I have to say, it did always feel like something like that was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, it was just bubbling, as you said earlier on, Dan. And now the pot is overflowing and it's pouring out everywhere. Absolute mayhem here in Hungary. There was good fun out there while it was on, but not anymore. Interestingly, the gap is around 3 seconds now, but as you said earlier on, 6 seconds for Chris Johnson, so Poop Cannon should have this in the bag, but I think Chris can count his lucky stars as not a full safety car, because then he'll be losing a few more places.
Tell you what, it's not being the end of the world though. Well, obviously you don't want to be pitting, you didn't want to have the incident, but the virtual safety cars allowed them to make a complete pit stop without any massive penalty, although Alex Zafro was then speeding and does now get a drive through.
Well, he's got one now, and it's all gone wrong. It's not been a great weekend at all over the both races for Renault, has it? Been a bit of a disaster, really, and it's not going to plan either for either of them, as Jacko now lines up Cena, but he's not close enough to make the move. He's running into the back of Cena. It's just in the thick of every piece of action you can watch. Oh, and there's another piece. Jacko into this back of Cena, and round he goes into a spin. I'm not going to blame Cena for that. That was a bit clumsy from Jacko.
Well, Shepard could be on for a great result as well. He's got 9-second penalty, but of course those guys have all just had to pit, and he's going to come out in 6th place ahead of Cena.
What is going on here? What on earth is going on? Shep now up in 6th position. Well, I'm not even going to ask you the driver of the day if he comes home sick. because I think there's no doubt about no doubt regarding who gets it. It's going to be M-Shep. What a race!
Yeah. So it's just he does have a 9-10 penalty, as I said, but then the drivers behind him have all got 3 seconds. So, and Alex Afro is out the race. Alex Afro is out of the race.
So Alex Afro retires, and it's no points for him. Not even on the Joe Sayer point system are Renault going to pick up points today. Zafro and Penguin not having a desirable day at all, as M-Shep is lining up indecisive for 5th.
Oh.
Well, not anymore he's not, because he's just damaged the front wing, and that will put pay to that.
Well, should we talk about the 2 guys at the front, the championship contenders, who were just having a nice little draft, really, I suppose. Johnson knows he's got the penalty coming his way.
Yeah, who are they again, Dan? Oh, right, there's a championship battle. I forgot. Goodness me, we've been so busy with everything else out there, and we still can't go to it because M-Shep is trying to make this 5th place. Well, if 6 wasn't wild enough, he'll go for 5th. He'll complete that move for 5th. If he can keep it on the road, which he can't, and that will allow Indecisive back underneath him, but he just looks so much quicker, so much more confident, and that will now be the inside for M-Shep, and that will, this time, be 5th place. Wow.
Well, it's Indecisive has a penalty for speed in the pit lane, so Sheb's going to have to try and pull 4 seconds away from Indecisive if he wants to keep that position over him. See if he can do that. Parser seems to be in having a race of his own. Parser now just in 4th place. Nobody really around them, but he's no penalties, as Dom just set the fastest lap on those fresh softs, of course, having to make that pit stop.
Yep, so Dom Smith then, fastest lap for him, down in 10th place. Finally the race is settling down as we start the final lap out front.
It is.
And M-Shep, I tell you what, Dan, there's a chance he will get the 4 seconds here, because he is flying away from Indecisive, isn't he? 1.8 already.
He is, yeah, and if he can get 6 seconds on Cena as well, then he might keep ahead of Cena as well. And saying that, Jacko is also right behind Cena. Now these two have been having a few battles over the season. I wonder if Jacko's going to fancy having a go yet. He had that moment to come out the pit lane earlier, and he's going to go for it, isn't he? Yes, Jacko.
Yeah, Cena's going to try and defend the inside. It's a late move from Cena. Jacko down the inside on Cena. More contact, more banging of wheels, but Jacko this time is through and ahead of Cena. Nice stuff there. And he's up into 7th place, and this will be helping M-Shep because they're just battling away against each other, aren't they?
Yeah, it is indeed. So, meanwhile at the front then, Magic Buchanan is going to win this race, and he will close in 7 points more on the championship leader, Chris Johnson.
Yep, a massive result then. Here they come then, round the final couple of corners. Chris Johnson then is going to win this race on the racetrack, but because of his time penalties this afternoon, he is going to surrender that. He crosses the line first, but we salute the car behind. Magic Poop Cannon is going to take the victory here at the Hungaroring, and it's 2 victories on the night, 2 pole positions for Magic Poop Cannon, and he cuts the gap straight back down and heaps the pressure back on his title rival Chris Johnson. Dan, I think this is going the distance.
Definitely, it's just been going back and forth, hasn't it, for several weeks now. Just want to see who comes through in 50. So Jeff has got a 12-second penalty in the end, so he will lose some position. Jacko gets into 5th, in fact, and in the end, it's actually a good result for racing points. Mr. John was only 700th behind Indecisive as well. What a great result for Indecisive. Shepherd, on the other hand, still going to get a decent 9th place.
It's decent, but it's not as good as what it could have been. And that will leave him a little bit frustrated, and I suppose it kind of throws the driver of the day call back up in the air. I mean, what do you think, Dan? Indecisive, maybe? M-Shep, or what do you think?
I mean, Jacko's result is good considering how he was had that incident with Cena and he was round and all that, but I think Indecisive, seeing as though he went the opposite way, didn't he, on the strategy, and he's the one who managed to make it work most of all and get a surprise in 6th place. Mr. John also went the opposite way as well on strategy, but was just behind in the end, and he gets driver of the day on the game as well. It is a really good result for Indecisive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we'll go with that then, shall we?
Yeah, let's go with Indecisive. And the gap at the front, by the way, though, is I believe going to be 5 points now heading into next week, which is fabulous.
5 points in the championship. We were Indecisive on driver of the day, living up to the man that got it, its name. But we got there in the end, indecisive drive of the day. But only 5 points now in the championship between Magic, Poop, Cannon and Chris. Every time Chris pulls a gap is an iffy week, an average week, and Magic Poop Cannon just keeps coming roaring back. And there you go then. The results from the Hungarian Grand Prix is Magic Poop Cannon who wins, with Chris Johnson in second for Mercedes. Baza was home in third in the other Mercedes, just as it was in the first race. Parsa in fourth, with Jackal in fifth. Indecisive driver of the day from us went from 13th to 6th. Mr. John in 7th, also on that alternate strategy. Cena came home in 8th, with Ebshep 9th, and Dom Smith completes the top 10. Blore Milner, he was 11th. Sear Sports was 12th. Breezer 13th. Good day for Kim in 14th. Blair Grills was 15th. A forgettable day for Renault, 16th and 17th for them. And it was Stereogram who came home in P8E. Dan,
I think
we enjoyed the race, didn't we? But
loved it.
I've got to say, was that a potential move of the season from Baza earlier on?
Oh well, it looked fantastic on the screen. It looked absolutely brilliant on the screen. I can't remember. Now you were commentating with me for Austin, weren't you? When Alex Afro got 2 cars in one go, in that twisty section of the final sector. That was pretty phenomenal. But that one from Baza, just while those two were battling amongst themselves, wasn't it? Who was it? Was it Dom and Cena? Was it? I can't quite remember now. But they were having their own little private battle, and suddenly Baza just turns up, just drives right round the outside of the pair of them, and then pulls away as well, and ultimately gets the podium. So, definitely a contender for one of the moves of the season. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I would actually say it's probably better than Zafro's, because it was round the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose Zafro caught them by surprise, and it worked out well for him, but right round the outside from Baza, excellent stuff. And I suppose at the end of the season, we might have a little vote on what everyone thinks, but for me, I'm probably going to say, so far, the Baza move was probably the better one.
I think Safro's move was sort of accidental, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas Baza's was absolutely calculated and decisive, and got him into the position, and then he pulled away with the penalty and gets the podium, and I mean, he's sort of still there on the edge of the championship, isn't he? But I think he'll need an implosion, really, from Poop Cannon and Chris Johnson in the next couple of weeks for him to really get back in the conversation.
Yep, I think that's absolutely right, Dan. But there's no doubt about it. There is certainly a conversation between the front two, isn't there? 5 points between them, yo-yoing one way, then the other. Quite the battle. 14 rounds down, not long to go now, and it just looks like it's going to go the distance. Momentum with Poop Cannon, the advantage though with Chris Johnson. Be sure to join us again next week for rounds number 15 and 16 of the championship. The exact same time, the exact same place, the exact same commentary duo. Good night. That's for it from me and Dan. We'll see you next week.